What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. All right, welcome out everyone. All of you great decoders around the world, wherever you may be, both male and female. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be doing another episode of my ongoing series called Scripted Reality. This will be number 7, and I'm really excited to share this information with all of you. So without further ado, let's jump into this presentation. So I'm going to start off with this slide right here as part of the intro. And, using numerology, sliding that into and meshing it up with alchemy, providing a much deeper meaning, I feel, for this reality being scripted. Computer is a 39 at the top of your screen. And then we just go down. And what about saying code that rules the world? And it's just really interesting. That's the number 88. And how big of a number has this been in the decoding world for not just my presentations, but for a lot of you great decoders? That 39 as well is showing up quite a bit. But the 88, time travel, just goes on and on, what it leads to and what it's all about. And these two elements down here at the bottom, I've shown this many times, radium and yttrium. Radium being Ra's element, and then yttrium having the 88 for its atomic mass, having the 39 for its protons, matching that word computer. And the icon chosen for the element yttrium is the that's all, folks. The Merry Melodies, the Looney Tunes, if you go read about this. And then the X-ray here, or the radar technology, because this element, which you're going to see, they used it for radar technology. And is there a signal being broadcasted through the world? And is it supernatural? And is it penetrating your mind, which is where your thoughts come from? Well, let's have a look and see exactly what I mean by all of this stuff here. So that was the intro, ladies and gentlemen, to start this thing off with a bang. And then we're going to here are the topics that we're going to get into for this presentation. Number 1, I am Bob. Number 2, I am Hugh. Number 3, Code 88. And then the last topic, the Wizard of Binary. And this is really where my research is going at this current stage of life, the binary system. The zeros and the ones. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the first topic of conversation, I am Bob. And it starts off with this gentleman right here, Robert William Beamer. Bob. And he was the guy who was into computer science. He was a computer pioneer, standardizing the ASCII, which is an abbreviation for the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So if you go here to, he's called the father of the ASCII. I'm going to leave these links so you can click on them to read them on your own here. But this is computer language is really what it is. And then now we have Unicode, and it's just advancing and going deeper and deeper. But this has kind of really started it all off. This guy right here. And notice that his birthday was on February 8th, which is the 39th day of the year. How about that? And 39 is computer, and that's what the guy was in. He was a computer scientist. Big time, his whole reality, if you go study this guy right here and what he was all about. Huge credentials. But they called him the father of the ASCII, working with Hugh McGregor Ross, and I'm going to get into him in a little bit. But right there, starting this whole thing off, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that this guy's life was scripted. He was born to to do this code right here, obviously, and he's not trying to pork anybody or screw you over or anything like that. But this clearly to me shows that his life was scripted. This is just starting it off, but I'm going to continue moving forward with I Am Bob. So here are the 52 letters of the English alphabet that were programmed, that were part of the 95 printable codes, and these are all moving into binary now. So what you're looking at is the 52 letters of the English alphabet, both uppercase and lowercase, and then converting them into the language of the binary, which is the zeros and ones. And you'll notice that we have a total of 198. That's how many ones we had there, because the zeros have no value. And I bring it into the golden ratio to kind of get a better determination of what this code's talking about. I feel the golden ratio really rules over this reality, part of the source code, in a big way. And you can measure these numbers through the golden ratio. So 198 appears at digit number 936, starting there. That includes the 1 point. Some of these websites will not include the 1 point, so it would push it ahead to digit number 937. But nonetheless, it is the 936th decimal, 935 it pushes it back to. 936 decimal digit. How big is this number? Because it's the keys to the universe. And you're going to see this through the I Am during this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, there are more than just these, but these are the letters that we use to speak our spells, and this moves into the computer language that we're now using on the keyboard and the cell phones. Okay, but here's where it gets super interesting and showing this scripted reality through the lens of the late Bob Beamer. Here's his birth city in Michigan and where he passed in Texas. And as I often have done, taking the map and going to see the distance, measuring the distance. I did this in my Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss and my Matrix 4 Resurrections, how crazily scripted those two were. I've shown it so many times now. Here it is. He's got 1,131.74 on the back end. The 74, that's a no-brainer. That's going to be tungsten and wolfram and tied to the sun. But the 1131 is really, really big here, because when we bring it into the golden ratio to measure it once again, showing you another example, his 1131 distance between birth to death cities is if it's located at digits 698 through 701. And this 701 is absolutely huge, ladies and gentlemen, because it gets into this element right here, and this lens through mathematics. It's the element iodine, 1/2 of the I Am. Remember, there are 95 printable. Right here, 95. Where is it? I don't want to jump ahead, but here we go, 95. I'm going to get into these characters here. I'm kind of jumping ahead. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, this is what his birth to death city looks like in the golden ratio. 701 is the last digit on the end there. 701 is the 126 prime number. 126 is the element iodine. Iodine is 1/2 of the I Am. Rather than saying, the I am that I am. And I'm going to show you how that plays a role in this computer reality, which I feel like we're living inside of a computer pushing out our reality through the simulation, however that looks. But this is what my research is leading towards. To support this more and how Bob is connected to the I Am. And I feel like the I Am Bob was being used by whatever's ruling over this reality. We can then use the numerology, once again, the science of numbers, and say these words and measure them. Iodine being 23 and Americium being 27. 23 being tied to the moon. The word moon equals 23. 23 is the 9th prime number. 27 being tied to heaven and the word thalamus as well. But if we go further here, bringing these 23 and 27 into the string of the golden ratio, look how crazily scripted this reality is to show you that it is not mankind that is ruling over this reality. It is something far beyond the lens of our brains and the capacity to rule over this reality. So taking the numerology of the 23 and 27. So we go 27 digits total into the golden ratio. And besides the fact that it equals 144, tied to the 144, the crown chakra and the whole 9 yards of what that means. But look at where digit 23 and 27 are, or which digits they are. The 23rd representing iodine, the 23 representing americium. It's the 5 and the 3. We go right back to the I. You see, Ponzi scheme equals 53. Yeshua, through the original Hebrew spelling, equals 53. We're living in a Ponzi scheme, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a bad thing, but we're living in a scripted reality. This reality is a joke. The Joker. Okay? The Joker. I know it's not always beautiful. I know there's a lot of people that are, I get a lot of comments. You just got to do the best you can, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm just showing you the scripted reality through I Am Bob. And I have shown this now so many times, been a couple years now that I brought this out. You can spell some of these words on the periodic table. And this was no exception. This was a big one. This is in my Dios Decoded, Tesla, the Keys to the Universe, the 369. The 369. Just going right back up to here, remembering that the 52 letters, the uppercase and lowercase, in the string of the golden ratio has that as a permutation, which is otherwise known as a number anagram, the 936. Same thing, ladies and gentlemen, the outcome. 369, 963, 936, all part of the source code. All part of the source code. So what I decided to do to support more of this scripted reality is to take the I am, spelling it out through these two elements, iodine and americium, and then taking not just the protons of these elements, but taking their atomic masses, iodine 126, americium 243, and then bringing them all into the calendar and looking exactly what this looks like here. February 22nd being the 53rd day of the year. You can do this with leap years as well. I'm just showing you the common year. 53, matching the protons, February 22nd. 95, matching the protons, April 5th. And then doing the atomic masses, the 1 to 126 day, May 6th, which is the 5-6, which was big, lights, camera, action. And then americium, the 243, on that day of the year, August 31st. So now what we want to do is we want to add them up, 22 and 5 and 6 and 31. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, now it puts us on the dance floor, because these numbers, 22, 5, 6, and 31, they equal the number 64. And just like that, we have the I am, and if you go all the way back to where it originated from, I am is twice. I am that I am. You can spell that out on the periodic table as well to give you a different outcome. But there it is, twice. And it's the 64. And it's not just any element, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. It's the GD element, just missing the O. It doesn't get any more obvious than that, and it puts you on the dance floor. When you say, I am this and I am that, I am Bob, I am Rebecca, I am Prince, I am John, I am Jesus. It's the I am using you to play out any role, any character it wants at any time. And this is why the gadolinium, this element, was used in television screens. Because it's telling you, 64 tied to the ancient I Ching system. You're going to go all the way back to the human design as well if you're a fan of that. 64 possible codons in our DNA, 64 squares on a chessboard. This does not have anything to do with Freemasonry. They use it, but it has nothing to do with it because it originated long before they came along in those organizations. They just use it. So when you see the black and white checkerboard floor, ladies and gentlemen, you should be grateful that you're alive. When it gets night out tonight, if it's during the day right now that you're listening to this, that represents the black. And then when the sun comes up and it gets light, that represents the white. It's yin yang. This has nothing to do with being evil, folks. That is all something that people are regurgitating that is absolute nonsense. This is what it means to be a human being. You should be rejoicing when you see the black and white. That's why I got it at the beginning of my video, because I know what it means. So going further, how about the cards of illumination for the I am that I am? The I am. Well, February 22nd, 3 of diamonds. April 5th, 3 of spades. How about that? We got pocket threes. There's that 33 for the I am, the protons. And then doing the atomic masses, May 6th, King of Diamonds, card 39. August 31st, the 8 of Hearts. And when you add these up, 29 plus 42 plus 39 plus 8, you're going to get the number 118. And you now have the original gangster on the periodic table, the last element. Maybe there's more, but science doesn't show any more than that. It's the OG of the periodic table. the original gangster, Orgeneson. And clearly you can see that the word itself, which I'm going to show you the guy who coined it because it was his last name, tied to his last name, is a 39 and computers 39. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is all leading to the binary system, the zeros and the ones. And I got some big material coming out showing you that's exactly what we live in. The makeup of our reality behind it all is just the 0 and the 1. It's binary. Binary. That's really what it's all about. So getting back to I Am Bob. Here's his full name in numerology, showing more of his scripted reality. He's a 59. Contract with God equals 59. 59 is the 17th prime number. 17 is the star card in the tarot. 17 is the 7th prime number. 7 chakras. I could go on and on. 59 is called the game of life. That's what it equals in numerology. Look at where it is in the string of the golden ratio. 59 appears at digit 167 and 168. That's going to lead to erbium and the number 68. And 167 is the 39th prime. How about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to, really consider here doing some critical thinking. If you're on the fence of whether or not you think your life is your own, or, if we're living, do you think Bob had a choice? Clearly the numbers, through mathematics and nature, the measurement of nature and the science of numbers, and then real mathematics through the primes, says otherwise. I don't know how else you'd even describe this here. But this is pretty ridiculous. And, remember, ladies and gentlemen, February 8th is the 39th day of the year. So he's got the 59 for his numerology. 59 is found at the 167th decimal digit of the golden ratio. 167 is the 39th prime number. He was born in the 39th day of the year, and he was a computer scientist creating some of the first language for computer code. Are you kidding me? Scripted reality, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't get any more obvious than that. So let's get into the next topic now. I am Hugh. And that is this guy right here to the right, Hugh McGregor Ross, who was the gentleman who was the co-partner for Bob Beamer on the standardization of the ASCII. So he was also a computer pioneer. And what's so fascinating, so these two guys worked together to form that code. This is the story that I go by here. And right away, I'm looking at their birthdays. He's born on February 8th. He was born on August 31st. Remember, August 31st is the 243rd day of the year, which is the AM, the Americium. But when you add up 31 and 8, you get 39. Really? Do you see how tightly woven this is? These guys, to me, my statement here, my final answer, these guys didn't have a choice. They did their destiny. They did their written script, their screenplay. They did a great job because they were pioneers in these areas of computers. But clearly, these are no-brainers here. Again, August 31st being tied to the 243rd day of the year, tied to Americium. But anyway, let's look at their birth cities. As I have often shown so many other decodes, what is the distance between where Ross was born in Nairobi and where Beamer was born in Michigan? Well, the distance in miles, 7,720.89 miles. That's what it spit out for me. And then bringing it into the golden ratio, where's that number found? Well, it's found at the very tail end at the 40th decimal digit. So 37, 38, 39, and 40. And that equals 197. But the big takeaway is it's 40 digits, ladies and gentlemen. Their distance in between, their birth cities, they were supposed to come together, is found in the golden ratio at the 40th decimal digit, all the way at the end. And you're on you're on television. The Truman Show, and I got material coming out on that, ladies and gentlemen, more extended pieces. I've broken it down twice. That is going to blow your mind. Undeniable solidification that we live in a scripted, predestined reality. You just got to have fun with it. Television being 40. Here are the 40 digits. There's that 7720. The distance between Ross and Beamer and their birth cities. Are you kidding me? This is so accurate here. Being 197 for the total. 197 is the 45th prime number. It's tied to Pandora's box. But it's all about the binary, right? The zero. It's the zero, and then it goes into the one, and then you become the one. I become the one. That's the one is an anagram for Neo. Keanu Charles Reeves played Neo. That's an anagram for the word one. So you enter the zero, which the tarot does a great job of showing that. There's the zero right on the card. This is card 21. And you enter the binary system. You enter through the binary system, through the computer system. And you become a human being through birth, through the embryo and the seed being fertilized, and how all that stuff is all program. It's all programming of our reality right here. And this is just, to me, this is undeniable with how ridiculous this is just in their distance between their cities. I mean, and this is not the first time I've shown examples of two people that have worked hand in hand, and how closely knitted they are with this scripted reality. So again, this is gold. You know, they're digits of how far away they were. And it's all about lead to gold. We become lead, and then we obviously have that energetic exchange into gold. It's just so magical when you look at this code, and rather than getting angry, and you just observe it and you have a much better experience. How about their birth cards? Bob Beamer and Hugh McGregor Ross. Bob Beamer, being born on February 8th, he gets the 4 of spades. This is the card of Hollywood, where your dreams come true. Card 43. 43 is a prime number. And then Hugh has this 8 of hearts. And when you look at this is 48 or 84. You can look at it that way, but it's card 43 and card number 8. And when you bring the 43 and 8 together and add it up, you're going to get the number 51. And there we have, bringing it into alchemy, here we have the implant in the brain. This is the element antimony, comes from the words antimonos, which means not alone. When you split your brain in half, this is what you're going to get. The all-seeing eye of Horus. Every single one of you, your brain is a receiving station. The thoughts you have, they come from somewhere. They don't come from you. They're coming from somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. This means not alone. And these two guys, just another example. Their mind's not their own. Created some big things on the world stage, but scripted reality, they lived their screenplay out. And then just to cement this for this topic, their names through numerology, 122, which is one of the atomic masses of antimony, the 122. So really, really fascinating that you get the numerology and then the addition of their birth cards. I could have went deeper. Their death cards, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they both. He died on the 22nd. He died on the 1st. That's a mirror of the 122. I mean, these are ridiculous codes, ladies and gentlemen, that are undeniable when you have the keys to look at this kind of stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the next topic now. I have 2 more to go. This is going to be Code 88. This is a big one. This is a really, really big one. So again, this is kind of where we started in the beginning for the intro. It was this computer 39 and the code that rules the world. And you also have radium in there, obviously. But this, just a reminder, this icon chosen has the Looney Tunes behind it. Here's the spiral. Here's the portal to get in here. But it also has this this radar thing here because it was used in radar technology, right? And then yttrium was also used to provide the red color. This element was used to provide the red color for television screens, which is why they say this is the background. So we have infrared. You have infrared and the opposite, which is gamma, but it's infrared, and you can study the red color. It's just so fascinating, ladies and gentlemen, how all the colors, and it's all about frequency, which are all about waves. Waves are what runs this reality. And here's just, to me, absolute support for living in a scripted reality. The Looney Tunes at the very end, the majority of the time, that's all folks. I say folks a lot, not because of this, but just it's kind of been a habit of mine now. But there's the 47. My birth card is the 47th card in the deck, by the way, the 8 of spades. That's why I'm showing you all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm supposed to. I'm the messenger to show you we live in a scripted reality. You don't have to believe me. Go do your own research. 400 plus videos showing that we do. But you got to make the truth your own. But here it is, 47 scripted reality. Tetragrammaton, 47, the Yod Vahe, tied to Ra. They're all the deities. It's a big Ponzi scheme, folks, to get all the energy. In case people get bored of one deity, they're going to give you the other one. But how about this guy right here, Johann Gadolin, who discovered the element yttrium? Look how scripted this guy's life is. He was born on June 5th, 1760. It was a leap year, so it was the 157th day of the year. And the average atomic mass, actually the most abundant, is the 157.924. The guy discovered gadolinium. I mean, really? And he discovered yttrium as well. Crazy, crazy scripted reality for this guy right here, because you're on television. This guy was on television. You are on television. I got a decode coming out and you're on television. It's going to be one of my biggest ever, because I will support it to show you we live in a scripted reality. You got to have fun with it. Like, I sound like a broken record now, but the point is, what do? Well, you got to become the best actor or actress you can. Turn off the other movies that you're watching, being a part of, that you're not getting paid to be a part of, and make your own movie to have fun in this reality. That's the whole definition of life, is becoming the star of the movie. That's the whole point of it, ladies and gentlemen. And just remember, here it is, the gadolinium, when you do the IM with the atomic masses and the protons, 4 dates, you get the number 64. And this guy right here discovered it, who discovered yttrium, which is all about the code that rules the world, right here. The code that rules the world, tied to the 88 and the 39. It's just fascinating how all this stuff ties into our reality here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's his name in numerology. This one, it was super interesting, getting a tarot picture and giving us more of a layer of how this reality possibly could be working. Johann Gadolin is a 43, the 43rd card in the tarot to get the picture. 7 of Cups. 7 meaning completion. But this card means choices. And the interpretation that I get here, ladies and gentlemen, is the divine, the supernatural. It's watching us. And just like when you grab the remote and you're like, oh, I don't feel like watching this anymore. Or you're on your YouTube, or maybe right now, like Logan's full of shit, I'm not going to watch this anymore, and you turn to something else. This is you changing the station. It's this. Hollywood is 43, folks, in numerology. This is the Hollywood card. All these choices, all these movies, Netflix and Amazon Prime and YouTube, you have a selection of unlimited possibilities. Well, that's what the supernatural has. Unlimited possibilities. Use you whenever it wants. You get famous? You think you get famous all on your own? Yeah, you got to put in the work. You got to do the grind. But these people all being used. I'm being used to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing my job. You don't have to agree with it, but that's my final answer. And I've been showing this over and over. So to finalize this guy right here, Johann Gadolin and his June 5th birthday, here's his birth card. The Queen of Diamonds, and how big this is. The Queen of Diamonds being tied to the movie Manchurian Candidate. You want to see a great movie? Go watch the 2004 Denzel Washington and Liev Schreiber Manchurian Candidate, which was remade, Frank Sinatra and company, back in the 60s. But the Red Queen, it's the Queen of Diamonds right on the movie cover. And the Red Queen, this right here, this card is big time tied into running our reality. And it's the 38th card in the deck. And just like that, what is the binary numbers? Just the 0 and the 1. Just the 0 and the 1. And there's the 38, folks. I got the binary I have coming out. The Decoded is going to blow your mind as well. I mean, undeniable synchronicities and connections. All right, let's get into the last topic of scripted reality, number 7. Finish this thing up. Let's get into the Wizard of... if you really weren't impressed then, let me really kind of throw a big one at you. The Wizard of Binary. We're going to get into a little bit of the binary. So here are the 95 printable codes for the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. This is going to include symbols, numbers, and letters. The 95. Why 95? Well, because it's one half of the IM, and the element that has the average atomic mass for the 95, the 42nd element. So the supernatural wants to come down and play a character. Well, this is how big the 42 is. It programs itself to come down here and be a part of this reality through the binary number. This amazing show, which was off of Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I'll leave the links in the description so you can watch this. Here it is right here. You can watch it and listen to it. This is the BBC doing their shindig of it. There's many renditions of it, but there's the supercomputer. And why are they using the color green? Why the color green? Well, because green is the heart chakra. Green is the 4, which is the doorway to get in here. The portal to get in here, the 4. And it's life, the universe, everything. 95 codes here, ladies and gentlemen, from some of the first computer programming. It's the I am, computing itself. This is so interesting. So we're going to really bring this home now to show you more of the scripted reality and more of the green. Now we're going to get into the Wizard of Oz. So we have the Wizard of Oz behind the green curtain. We got life, the universe, and everything. The answer was 42. They used the green. The Matrix used the color green. I mean, you're starting to see the pattern. Green screens in graphic design. Green being one of the major colors in nature. So how about a total addition? 360 ones in here. The zeros have no value. 95 printable. 95 is one half of the I am. 361 ones. And we bring that into the string of the golden ratio. We got to go 255 digits in to find that 361. And here it is. It adds up to 1153. And as fate would have it, it's going to be a freaking prime number. Not just any prime number, the 191st prime number. And 191 is attached to this element right here called osmium. And now you get into the Wizard of Oz. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. And remember the whole story of this. He had, the Wizard of Oz had that scary head with the flames trying to scare the people off. And then Toto, the little Yorkie, rips the curtain aside and they realize it's just this dude pulling levers. That's all it was. It's really fascinating. So here's the guy that played the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, Frank Philip Wupperman, went by Frank Morgan. And here's his birth card, ladies and gentlemen. More of this scripted reality, the Wizard of Oz. He's got the 42nd card in the deck. Remember, this is one of the cards of the I am. This right here is one of the cards of the I am. June 1st, 3 of spades. And he plays the Wizard of Osmium. It's really fascinating. And then this 42, of course, being the 42nd card in the deck, we go right back to the lead. Molybdenum comes from the Greek word molybdos, which means lead, which is what we all are in an example of being a human being. You're lead. You're the supernatural. It's light into lead. You as a bag of bones. The I am that I am inside of you, inside of me, using you to experience its own reality. They use green. They use green. The Matrix use green. Green is the middle of the chakras, the center point. Green is 20. Duality is 20. It's so fascinating here. So obviously these are really big. The Wizard of Binary. So, we're going to add those up in a minute, but how about getting the picture of the tarot? So the 42nd card from Frank, who played the Wizard of Oz. 42, the life, the universe, and everything. He's got the 3 of Swords, the 53rd card in the deck. And we just go right back to, again, it's like beating a dead horse. This is consistent now, not even going off, this is consistent with the I am. It's the iodine. Iodine being the 23 being the 9th prime number. Tied to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. It's in there. Trust me, it's in there. Go check out what was my last couple scripted realities. I showed how big the moon was. So let's bring it all home now with this Wizard of Osmium. Osmium got the OS as the abbreviation. I feel like this could definitely match up with the words operating system right there, which is the 56, which is tied to lights, camera, action. Speed of light is 56. And then where's the 76 appear in the string of the golden ratio? Once again, to show how scripted this reality is, it occupies digit 50 and 51. Wizard of Oz is 50. In God We Trust is 50. And the 51, we go right back to antimony and how big that was with these two guys right here. He's having several 120, 121, 122, 123. Antimony, meaning not alone, ladies and gentlemen. So the Wizard of Oz telling you, you're not alone. The voice in your head, that owns you. That may turn some people off, but where are your thoughts coming from? So where are your thoughts coming, ladies and gentlemen? So I told you we'd be adding this up. Osmium and molybdenum. osmium, and molybdenum. So we take the protons, 76 and 42, and we get the 118. So we get the OG here. Again, we go back to the OG, the last element on the periodic table, oganesson, or oganesson, however you pronounce it. It's really, really fascinating. So who and what discovered this element, I'm going to show you here in just a second, but clearly you can see once again how this is connected to the computer. The 118 is really big if you know what the 118 means, but obviously these 39s, you know, the code that rules the world, tied to the 39, tied to the 88, it's all connected here, ladies and gentlemen. All of it is a big Ponzi scheme. So, you know, all these things, they're going to connect in some way, some shape or form. And then here's the little cousin or daughter or son, or however you want to look at it, of the OG of the periodic table. It's tin, because tin has this weight of 118, which is its average atomic mass. The 118, and there's the 50 again. So we just go back up here, and there's the 50 with the Wizard of Oz, where the 76 appears for osmium, which I feel is the part of the operating system. It just doesn't get any more clearer than this. You know, it's found at the 7th decimal digit. We have 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 chakras, 7 days of the week. It's just all connected into this reality, how beautiful it really is. And this tin is pretty big in the Wizard of Oz, because it was the Tin Man who, and I feel like this is how it works. Because the Tin Man's identity was, or at least the objective of the Tin Man in the movie Wizard of Oz, was to find his heart. The movie came out in 1939. This is 39. Computer's 39. The Wizard of Oz was behind the curtain. These are all tales of the tape here, I feel. But the biggest one of them all, I feel, on how this reality works, and I'm still working on the theoretical positions for this. And again, these are my opinions. But the story for the Tin Man, he didn't have a heart. See, if you're the supernatural and you're not part of this physical reality, but you want to come down here and play the game, because you would. If you created this reality, you're like, that looks like a fun game, I'm going to go play it. You'd play your game if you created it. And maybe in the spiritual realm, you don't have a heart. And the only way, and this is what the story's all about. When you incarnate now, you're looking for love. It's all about the heart, but this guy was looking for it. And it was this dude right here, John Joseph Haley, who went by Jack in the Box. He was born in the 10th. That's the binary number, folks. He was looking for his heart. This is tied to Jupiter, by the way, and how big, like Jupiter and the stories through mythology, how notorious the stories in mythology is of Jupiter or Zeus incarnating and becoming, you know, objects and people in this reality. Notorious for that. This element is tied to Jupiter right here. And here's, you know, this is right from the Wizard of Oz. He's looking for his heart. So that's how I feel it works, ladies and gentlemen. Your spirit, supernatural, you want to come down here. You don't have a heart. You don't have flesh and bone. You don't have a bag of bones. So you incarnate. And it may be like angels. It may be spiritual entities up in this reality wanting to get in here. That's why I say it could be a waiting list to get in here, and people are bitching about their lives, and man, like they're rolling over there. It's like, man, are you kidding me? I can't wait to get into this reality. That's possible. Postulated that several times. But this is, to me, this may be really how the story works, and that's what they were trying to describe through the Wizard of Oz. So getting to the tail end of this now, here's the guy that was responsible for this element. His last name, obviously, and this element was named after him, Yuri. He was dealing with some of the heavy elements, born in Russia. So, of course, I'm going to take his name, and here it is in Russian. Breaking down the code in Russian all the way down to single digits, 93. So I'm going to bring that into the string of the golden ratio, and look at what we got here. Look where the 93 is located. Digit 94 and digit 95. 95 is one half of the I am. Undeniable evidence here, ladies and gentlemen, to support that we live in a scripted reality. And the big takeaway, really, besides that, is the addition of all these numbers, 432. And those of you that are into frequencies, you know how big that 432 is. Here's a picture, one of the cool websites I found, someone doing some experiments with frequencies in water, and here's the 432. Really interesting shape that it forms, and then the debate between 432 and 440. I can't verify this is accurate, but I thought it was interesting that this is the 432, and it looks obviously a lot cleaner. The 440 being like all mushed together, a lot of distortion, not clear. This would be a lot of static. This would be, clear, like my voice. And the pattern that it makes, really fascinating here if this is actually true and has merit. Again, I can't verify, but these are really, really interesting, these two. I'm going to leave this one at least in the description of the video, maybe not right away, so you can watch it for yourself. It's really cool. But how about that? The guy's name in the golden ratio, who was named after the original gangster on the periodic table, think about it, the last known element that we have on the periodic table. There may be more than that, but I think they're holding out on the 119, but it's the 118th element. How about that? So interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. So to finish this up, I decided to look at the 432 being a big frequency, solfeggio, and this is a 4 to me. I know 528 is big, but 432 to me represents the heart because it's the 432. 4 is the heart. 4 is the heart, and the green, the color green, the Wizard of Oz, the Matrix, life, the universe, and everything. It's all this green color. So this 432 is supposed to be a big hertz frequency, very harmonious. And where does it appear? And I'm going to be doing these with all the hertz frequencies. You can maybe this give you the idea to go check it out yourself, the 528. But here's where the 432 appears in the string of the golden ratio. And look at what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a freaking permutation of the 432. It's the 234. It's backwards. It's a mirror of that. It's on the 4th digit. Remember, 4 is a big number. I mean, if you go and you look at the number 4, it's the 23. This is the door to get in here, to 4. 23 is tied to iodine. 23 is tied to the words blood, the words crown, the word history, all in Chaldean. 23. It's really, really interesting, ladies and gentlemen, the 4. And it is tied to the binary. I got this coming up. It's all about the binary system. That's what my research is leading me to. But that's how big the 4 is. And then when we take all these 236 digits of where this 432 is found, the total addition is 1,067. We just drop that 0. And we get the 167, which goes right back to that 39, which goes right back to the OG on the periodic table, Oganesson, which is tied to computer. So the question is, are we living in a computer simulated reality? Is it created by a computer? How does that look? I don't know. I'd have to see. I'm a doubting Thomas. So people can theoretically say, yeah, there's some computer and it's under the earth. And well, I've never seen it. I think there's just so much more to the story than what we know at this point, but I think it's coming out. But I can tell you, I'll give you a head start. All my research is leading to Pluto and plutonium. That's what I feel is the ruler of this reality. Hades, Pluto, that's what runs this reality, period. That's my final answer at this point. And it has a partnership with the sun above. So you get the black sun, Pluto. The white sun is above your head, which provides the photosynthesis and the growth. And then Pluto regenerates through the soil and the underworld. But anyway, that's for a different story, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to hear what you saw. Keep your comments coming. Let me know if you made it all the way to the end here. Put it in the comments. I love seeing people say, I made it to the end, because the statistics is only about 15%. So most people click off. But if you made it all the way to the end, you want it bad enough. Thanks for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Much love to everybody. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Logan. We will see you later.